Hi everyone, welcome back to the Astrology channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kaylin and today we're going to be looking at your August 2025 horoscope. This is a tropical Western astrological reading and you can watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun and moon sign. However, if you've only got time to watch one horoscope today, then I would start off with your ascendant sign, which is also known as your rising sign. If you're wanting to see more astrological content and updates from me, please feel free to check out my Instagram and Facebook accounts. It's the same handle, which is Astrology. Without further ado though, let's get into your August horoscope. Hi Sagittarius Sun, Moon and Risings, welcome to your August 2025 horoscope. Let's start off by looking at career and business for you. As the month begins, Mars will still be transiting Virgo in your 10th house, and that will be up until the 7th of August. The 10th house in astrology is the very top of our chart, and it represents our career, our public reputation, plus it represents our boss as well as authority figures and even the government. So Mars transiting your 10th house for the first 7 days of the month could indicate that there may be some conflictual situations that arise in the workplace. So your boss may be more grumpy or agitated than usual. Maybe there's a situation that comes up where you have to have a difficult conversation or where you need to assert yourself in some way. But in saying that, there's also this opportunity for you to prove yourself. So there may be responsibilities that you can take up or some kind of challenge that you can take on and really prove yourself in the workplace. Something to note here is that there is this propensity to, I suppose, get in trouble while Mars is going through the 10th house. So this could be with HR for saying the wrong thing, for having your foot in your mouth, classic Sagittarius culture. So just be mindful of that, especially as we get to around the 6th or the 7th of August. So for the first 3 weeks of the month, we'll still be in Leo season, which means the sun is transiting the 9th house for you. This could lead to an opportunity for you to work with a mentor. So there could be a person at work who takes you under their wing or who shows you the ropes. Maybe you are receiving coaching because you are soon to be promoted or take on more responsibility. On a different note though, the shoe could be on the other foot where you are responsible for teaching other people or being a leader or a mentor for other people in the workplace. Mercury will be retrograde as we enter the month. So Mercury will be transiting your 9th house for the entirety of August, but it'll be direct from the 11th of August onwards. So the 9th house in astrology relates to legal matters, HR, so human resources is what I mean there, as well as foreign affairs, foreign policy, education, government policy, and company policy. So Mercury being retrograde as you enter the month in the 9th house could indicate that there are HR issues that are resurfacing. So if there was something that you had made someone aware of previously or vice versa, then perhaps you have to revisit this topic, or there could be changes to company policy. And maybe even if you work with like foreign affairs or in an international capacity, if you have to travel for work, there may be some changes to your travel plans, your travel itinerary, or there may be some miscommunications that occur between your department and an international department. On the 9th of August, there will be a full moon in Aquarius. On the 9th of August, there will be a full moon in Aquarius in your 3rd house at 16 degrees. The 3rd house rules over work projects, meetings, as well as small teams and groups. So because it's a full moon, you could actually be completing an important work project or task for work, and something unexpected may arise with respect to this project or work task, or perhaps it's something that your team has to deal with. And I say that because alongside the full moon, we will have Mars in Libra opposite Saturn and Neptune, so that could just be creating some tension there, or there may just be tension that is already bubbling underneath the surface between certain team members at your workplace. So around the 9th of August, plus or minus a few days or even a week or two, things could be coming to a head. So still talking about career and business. For the first half of the month, Saturn and Neptune will almost form a conjunction in Aries in your 5th house. In saying that, the exact conjunction will not take place until February 2026 next year. Nevertheless, the 5th house relates to owning your own business. So you may be doing some preliminary groundwork or just laying the foundations for a startup. So this could be for an existing business that you have and wanting to move it in a new direction, or this could be a new entrepreneurial idea or startup idea, like all together. Okay, so definitely pay attention to whatever you are exploring in the month of August, because that could become relevant, especially from February next year onwards, at least for another couple of years, because Saturn will be in Aries between the 24th of May and the 1st of September this year, and then again from the 14th of February 2026 and April 2028. In any case, on the 23rd of August, we will see a new moon in Virgo take place in your 10th house. So I repeat, the 10th house relates to your career and your public reputation, and new moons are all about planting the seeds, a new chapter occurring, and even just setting intentions for what it is that we want to call into our life. Now, the new moon in Virgo in your 10th house is actually going to make a very tight square with Uranus and Gemini in your 7th house. And not to mention, we're going to have a double new moon here. So we've got one new moon in August in Virgo in your 10th house, and then a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo in September next year. So because of the square to Uranus in the 7th house, there could be something unexpected that comes up with your workplace. So think unexpected change, whether that is relating to contracts. Maybe your boss walks away. Maybe there's a new head of department. Maybe there are changes to the structure of the company that you work for that you are being made aware of, even if it hasn't come through just yet. Perhaps it's like news is breaking of this and these changes come through in the months to follow. A new opportunity could arise. So this could be a new job opportunity, a promotion, taking on more responsibility, or perhaps you are setting a new professional goal for yourself, or a new career chapter is on the horizon. Now, lastly, this opportunity that comes through could require you to act on it very swiftly. So maybe there's not too much time to respond. It could just be like a yes or no, are you in or are you out? Or it could even be that you see a job listing and perhaps that's about to close, meaning that you have to submit your application with a sense of urgency. So I repeat, that new moon is on the 23rd of August. Nevertheless, looking at finances and property. On the 7th of August, Mars is going to leave Virgo and enter the sign of Libra, which means it will be transiting your 11th house until the 21st of September. The 11th house in astrology is one of the money houses. The other money houses are the 2nd house and the 8th house. The 11th house, though, is all about passive and residual forms of income. So Mars going through your 11th house could indicate that you are going to be channeling your energy and effort into generating passive forms of income or residual forms of income. So that could be like products that you are selling online and it's like a one and done thing and then they just sell themselves, or this could relate to other forms of passive income. Mars is the ruler of your 5th house, and the 5th house relates to owning your own business. So it could be that you're having very entrepreneurial ideas about how to generate passive forms of income, or even get people to invest in your idea or invest in your business. Or perhaps you are having a bit of a brainwave about how to monetize an existing idea that you have. So, still talking about finances and resources, Jupiter is your ruling planet, and Jupiter is transiting your 8th house for pretty much a whole year. So that's from the 10th of June 2025 through till the 30th of June 2026. Jupiter transiting your 8th house indicates that this is where your focus is for pretty much a whole year. The 8th house rules over our mutual resources. So this is all about joint investments, joint bank accounts, collaborating with other people in the sense that you're pulling your resources together, whether that's finances or, investing in a business together, or just having multiple stockists or ways in which you earn money. So Venus will be transiting your 8th house for almost the whole month. And Venus rules over finances and resources as well. So money and personal resources, and then going into the 8th house can indicate that maybe you are going to be helping someone out financially or with resources that you have, even if that's not straight up cash. And on a different note, the shoe could be on the other foot where someone is helping you out financially. On the 12th of August, Venus and Jupiter will form their annual conjunction, and this year it will be in Cancer in your 8th house, which is so positive for you because Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, and both Venus and Jupiter are considered to be benefic planets in astrology, meaning that they bestow some kind of blessing to us. And of course, Jupiter is your ruling planet, so having this conjunction take place in the 12th house could indicate that in the 8th house, could indicate that around the 12th of August, you may be combining your resources with another person. You may be investing in property with another person. Now, even if you're not straight up buying a new property, maybe you're investing in things for your existing home, whether you own it or not. And I say that because Jupiter rules over not just your 1st house, but also your 4th house, which is Pisces. And the 4th house relates to our property and living situation. Okay, so whether you are investing in a property, so buying, selling, or investing in maybe like furniture for your property or thinking about renovations. On a different note, you could just be making important decisions about your property and living situation. Okay, so I repeat, that's on the 12th of August. With the new moon in Virgo, which is on the 23rd of August, even though that's in your 10th house, it is squaring Uranus in your 7th house, and it is activating your 4th house too. So if you're a Sagittarius, especially between about 0 and 5 degrees, and especially if you're a Sagittarius moon, there may be something that comes up that is like a pressing situation which prompts you to make a hard and fast decision about your living situation. Okay, I'll just park that there for now, and let's have a look at family and home life for you. So first, I'm going to talk about children. For the first half of the month, Saturn and Neptune are almost conjunct in Aries in your 5th house, which I've already mentioned. And also we're going to have Mars in Libra in your 11th house, opposing Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 5th house around the 9th and 10th of August. So this can put pressure on existing relationships that you have with your children. So this could indicate that maybe those relationships or one of those relationships with your children are being tested. Conflicts can arise around this time, but with Mars trining Uranus and Pluto, I really do think that things can be resolved, but you may feel like you have to make important decisions that impact your children, especially if they are your dependents, meaning that they're not of a legal age to look after themselves. So you may have to make difficult decisions that are going to be responsible for their best and highest good. So that could look like stuff to do with their learning, their education, their developmental needs, and so on and so forth. Or maybe that's to do with like boundaries when it comes to social media usage or their device usage, just as an example. On a different note, but sort of similar, you may have important conversations with your children, just in general. Maybe they are opening up to you, and you could be looking at adjusting your parenting style and your approach. So maybe trying something new. And also, for those of you who've not started a family yet, maybe you're having important conversations about if you want to start a family or whether you're wanting to expand your existing family further. And this could also look like conversations around, am I ready to meet your children? Are you ready to meet my children from a previous relationship, and so on and so forth. So on the 9th of August, there will be a full moon in Aquarius, and this will be occurring at 16 degrees in your 3rd house. The 3rd house relates to siblings and extended relatives. This full moon, it has some positive things going for it, but then there's like an explosive aspect to it, given that we've got Mars opposite Saturn and Neptune too. So there could be some sort of big conversation that occurs between you and a sibling, and maybe it gets out of hand, or maybe it's with an extended relative. So for example, a cousin, a niece, a nephew, or an auntie or an uncle. So lastly, with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer on the 12th of August, I just want to highlight that, again, Jupiter rules over your 4th house, and this relates to family. And Cancer is the sign of family anyway. So with this conjunction taking place in your 8th house, you may have important conversations with family members. Maybe it's about money, maybe it's about resources, maybe it's about boundaries. But also 14 degrees represents the fixed star Sirius, which is pretty much the most auspicious fixed star that we have. And it is very much associated with unconditional love, healing, forgiveness, and heightened spirituality or intuitive downloads. So there's definitely scope for a beautiful healing conversation to take place between you and a family member around the 12th of August. Let's have a look at love and relationships now. So for the first half of the month, I repeat, Saturn and Neptune are almost conjunct in the sign of Aries, and there are some tense aspects here to Mars, but also some beneficial aspects to Uranus and Pluto. So long story short there, some of you may be basically getting closure when it comes to a romantic situation that doesn't feel solid or secure or defined. Maybe you are deciding to make your relationship official in the month of August, or you could just be deciding about the future of your relationship. Do we want to be together? Do we want to be exclusive? Should we go our separate ways? There could be conversations around intimacy, romance, sex, passion, and so on and so forth. Also with love and relationships, we are going to have this strong activation to your 9th house. Now, although the 9th house is not traditionally associated with love and romance, you've still got these trines that are happening to you. So Mercury, which rules over your 7th house, which is related to your long-term relationships, is in the 9th house for the whole month, trining you. Okay, so you could be traveling with your significant other. We've got the sun transiting your 9th house for the first 3 weeks of the month. So for those of you who are single, maybe you're finding love while traveling or with a foreigner or at your college or university, or perhaps you are meeting someone through your spiritual community or your religious community. Towards the end of the month, Venus is going to enter the sign of Leo, which means it will be transiting your 9th house. So this is from the 25th or 26th of August, depending where you live in the world, through till the 18th of September. So Venus will be in your 9th house, and it'll be trining Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house, which is positive for love and romance. It's going to sextile Uranus in Gemini in your 7th house, and it is going to oppose Pluto and Aquarius in your 3rd house. So basically what we're seeing here is a bunch of aspects between Venus and these slower moving planets. My recommendation here is, if you have the opportunity to travel, travel. If you have someone that you've been thinking of asking out, or you want to take your connection to the next level, then the end of the month is your friend. Okay, so lastly, before we wrap up this horoscope, as I said, you do have this strong activation to the 9th house. So love and romance aside, there could be a really big focus for you on your belief systems, spiritual, religious, political, your world beliefs. How is it that you believe that the world even functions or works? So you could be having some kind of pivotal shift in your belief system or belief systems. And I say this because Mercury is retrograde up until the 11th of August, and it'll be in its post-shadow retrograde period for pretty much the whole rest of the month. So what you believe to be true about religion, spirituality, politics, what's happening on the global level or a global level, all of this could be subject to change. Now, the 9th house also rules over travel, so there could be changes to your existing travel plans and itinerary. There could be cause for you to revisit somewhere interstate or internationally where you have been to before because of the Mercury retrograde. There could be a big focus for you on getting some work published or looking at import and export. And if you are currently enrolled in an education program, you may be putting or pushing the pause button on that, or perhaps just changing subjects, changing supervisors, thesis ideas, etc., etc. And maybe some of you will actually be returning to study with the Mercury retrograde here. So Sagittarius, that's all I have for you for your August horoscope. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on the channel, please hit the subscribe button. And just letting you know, I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, and I post really regular updates about the astrological climate on there. So you can follow me at Kastrology on Instagram and or Facebook if you like. In any case, enjoy your month ahead, and I will see you guys in September.